Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Summer School. Today, we are here with a super amazing guest who I had the pleasure of meeting, I think, 2 years ago now at WPPI, a conference in the States in Las Vegas. I'll actually be teaching at it twice in the next year. So if you want to come, I'll drop a link in the show notes and the description. You should totally come hang. It's a freaking great time. But he's a legend in the industry. I wish I had known you even sooner. But Magic is from Poland and has been teaching, has a YouTube channel, I feel like you've literally just been doing everything. I feel like you're like one of the OG educators at this point. So I'm super stoked to have you on, and I'm so excited to see where this conversation goes. But Magic, I'll let you introduce yourself because I know there's so much more to you than what I've said. And I'd love if you give everyone a little bit of context in case they don't know who you are about your journey, maybe the type of weddings you're doing, and what it means when I say you teach. I know you're like super present in the YouTube space, and that's not super common these days. So I think it'd be really awesome to hear a little bit about that.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thanks for invitation, by the way, and also WPPI. I would come. So I also invite all of you to come because it's a great experience. So my name is Maciej Suwałowski. That's my full Polish name. But yeah, I go by the brand name of Magic because it's just simply easier and it sounds very similar. And I know a lot of people with my name that also are being called magic in English, which is funny. And I have been shooting weddings since 2012. So 13 years now. So 2012, I actually started my business officially. And first
Mm,
weddings, I think I've shot like a year or 2 years prior to that. And since COVID, I started YouTube channel as well. So that's my second journey. 2021, I remember that year, so it kind of year after, like the second year of COVID, when COVID was like coming back, and I still haven't been able to travel for my weddings because I was mostly shooting destination weddings. So I was like, what do I do? And I started to take that YouTube thing, week by week, and now it's been 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years. It's
mm.
going to be 5 years in January. I managed to grow it to roughly 50,000 subscribers, which is a chunk of people, a nice chunk of people.
Yes.
And through that, I've been doing the education. So I've been doing workshops prior to that. I've been Sony ambassador as well for Europe for a couple years, which I quit this year. We can talk about that later if you want. And through that, I've been doing a lot of workshops locally. I've been doing a lot of conferences. I've been going to a lot of workshops, going to a lot of conferences. I've been hosting workshops, hosting conferences. So yeah, I've
You've been
been out there.
around. Yeah. Man, what drove the want to do all of that? Did you just love community? You loved helping people? Like,
I
how
love
did this all
people.
start for you?
Yeah, I love people. So like, it all started actually by me going to conference called Way Up North in
Mm,
2015. That was my first ever kind of experience of meeting people, of meeting community of other photographers, and I've seen how huge impact it had,
mm.
like for me, as like in my development. And I started shooting destination weddings. After that, I started networking with other photographers, or I started working with other photographers. And I wanted to bring that to people here locally. So at first I was inviting all the people here from Poland, be like, guys, you have to go to Way Up North, it's amazing. But then they would go there, and instead of like actually networking with other people, because they would go like in a group of people, they would constantly hang out with each other. And
Mm.
because when I went to my first Way Up North, I was completely alone. It was like vastly different experience. So I was like, oh, it's not working. They're not taking what I've been taking from it.
Yeah.
So I decided to host my own conference in Poland, and we did that for a couple of years,
Crazy.
for COVID, until COVID happened. That was our last edition, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with like in-person huge events, and switched to online thing.
Hey.
And yeah, I think maybe I just like yapping about cameras, lenses, and wedding photography.
Hey, I mean, if you enjoy talking about it and you love doing it, like, why not like combine all of the two and bring it out to the world. You know what I mean? Like I always say with the podcast, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I just like talking to people that I find
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Like there's really
Yep.
not that much more to it for me. I just
Yeah.
enjoy having conversations with people that I think have information I would love to talk about. You know what I mean? Or like their brain's interesting in some capacity. So it's a fun way to be able to like professionally do that. You know, same with you, be able to like
100%. Yeah.
host your own conference and connect with all the people and do all the things. I by trade, I resonate with you on that. I feel like I'm naturally like a connector. This is like the past, like super religious version of me,
Mm-hmm.
but I always give the analogy, this from my childhood, of like in the church, there was often these phrases like disciplers and connectors and whatever. And like disciplers were like the people that pour into the people, and then connectors like the people that bring the people. And that was kind of how the church like functioned. You know what I mean? Don't know why I'm going
Mm-hmm.
into this, but basically,
That's
I
funny.
do
Yep.
believe to this day that there really are like two types of people. You know what I mean? There's like the people that bring the people, and there's the people that like pour deep. And I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
like, not that I'm not gonna pour deep, but I'm definitely like a bring. Like if I know someone that needs to know someone else, I'm not gonna keep
You
that from
connect.
them. I'm
Yeah.
gonna connect that person like right away.
Yep.
It's just like who I am, and I feel like you would resonate on that note. But sorry for the
I
long story, guys.
yeah.
Totally irrelevant information.
That was good. That was good. It's funny because
Uh,
like I feel very similar in similar way, and also for me, I feel like I kind of, how do you say that? Like I need more people in order
mhm.
to start bringing out me out of
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
You're an extrovert-ish, I'd
Extrovert
assume.
for sure, ish. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Although sometimes after all these years, now after, so for example, this conference that I told you way up north, it's been going for 10 years. We just had like a 10-year anniversary. And, from being attendee, I've became a host of it for the couple last years. So I was like person on stage, like in kind of like emceeing the whole
Yeah.
thing. And that just took so much energy out of me, so I didn't have energy back to give to people when I was having those conversations. So it's like it's
Yeah.
a complicated situation, I have to tell you,
Yeah.
because now I feel like it, I do have to be I have to have a good sleep, I have to eat well, and
Yes.
then I can give my energy to people. If I don't do that, I'm just dead.
Well, that's one of the hardest parts about things like WPPI being in Vegas and you're trapped in a casino for like a week. I'm like, yo, you
Man.
guys, you're getting us together. Some of us have to speak. We're all networking.
Hmm.
There's literally thousands of people and we're eating like casino garbage. Like I just
And
I'm a
we don't
little
have fresh
worried.
air.
Yes. And
Yep.
if you're in a hotel room,
And your
like you
voice
can't
is
be
gone.
cooking
Yeah.
yourself natural things. Last year we stayed in Airbnb. So we had a full kitchen. So I
Oh,
was able to
that's
like cook
nice.
some of my own meals, which was
Oh yeah,
good. We
because
also
the three of you were there, right?
yeah, we had the baby last year because she
Yeah.
was too young for me to leave her. Freaking crazy
Hmm.
that I did that now that I look back on it. But
That's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, this next year I'm going alone, no baby, and
Oh,
hotel
nice.
room. And I'm like, no, with a hotel room, I
Ah.
can't cook fresh food. You know what I mean? That's crazy to live on non fresh food for 6 whole days. That's a long time.
As a European, I agree.
Yes. Yeah. That's one of
I'm very
my
much used to my own food.
That's one of my things with retreats too is getting into teaching at other people's events. It's hard
Hmm.
because I totally understand the budget. I just got the wildest quote from a chef for summer camp. Summer camp, guys, if you're listening. As of now, there's only 5 tickets left, and I think we just launched to the public like 4 days ago. There's 20 spots. It'll be really fun. You should come. But we're trying to have a chef. And the second quote I got from someone, I was like, "Holy smokes! Like this is like."
Mm,
It was
not
like
possible.
wedding
Yeah.
level, like luxury wedding level quote. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's just not even physically possible. But the first chef is great and totally manageable. But I just
That's
really
cool.
wanted a chef because
Oh, I
teaching
like
at other
that.
people's events, I was kind of like, my gut health was really taking a toll. Um, and I just think if we're going to be together for 5 days, like all creating, I want to like eat well too, because I think our physical
Hmm.
body needs to be nourished. Um,
Yeah, which is actually a
yeah.
perfect like kind of a transition to the story I had from last week, because I've
Yes,
been in
tell
India.
us. Yes. Oh
I've
my
just
gosh, when
shot
I saw that, I was like, I'm glad that you can share this.
Yeah, I've just shot the craziest wedding in India, but I got sick the last day, probably because of food, which
Yes.
was not very pleasant. Getting sick at the airport on the floor,
Oh
going
no.
flying from one location to another. Like luckily it was after like 4 days of shooting. But yeah, then I instead of spending a day in Mumbai and just visiting South Mumbai, which apparently is like a place to be, like a hip place and
Mm,
so on, I spent it in
on the
hospital
floor.
and then in a hotel room. So getting my fluids replaced. So that's kind of my food story from like when you cannot control what to eat and you're in a
Yes.
very different country.
Yes.
Um,
That's terrifying. Okay, but that wedding, I feel like you're also leaving something out.
that wedding. So that wedding, just like to be perfectly clear, is not my wedding. So I was
Yes.
not the hired photographer for that one. The hired photographer by our bride and groom was my dear friend Joseph Radhik. He's a
Mm.
local, kind of like a Bollywood star photographer, basically at this point. So he's been shooting all these massive weddings for years, and he needed a not a second shooter, but a sixth shooter.
You were the
So
sixth?
I was hired as a sixth shooter at the
That's
wedding.
crazy.
But I didn't know anything about that wedding other than like, hey, it's a wedding in Udaipur. Please, like, we'll organize everything for you, flights,
Yeah.
everything. Just tell us what's your rate, and we'll have you joining our team. And I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Then he was like, I want you to shoot after parties. Just stay in your time zone, and we're gonna go
And you're
to
just gonna
bed, and you're
shoot the
gonna shoot.
nighttime.
I'm like, that's fine for me. I like shooting parties, so I'm like all in. And then like I don't know, 2 or 3 days before, he was like, oh, by the way, it's going to be our biggest wedding of the year. And I'm like, okay, it's getting interesting. And then when I arrived, they're like, oh, by the way, J-Lo is performing on Sunday. And like, okay, this is
You're
this
like,
type
oh,
of
well,
wedding.
this is about to be
So what's
crazy.
happening? So it was like a billionaire wedding with a budget between
Wild.
50 to $100 million, like estimated budget. Absolutely insane. Like I've never seen
Crazy.
anything like this. And seeing something like this in such a poor country as well, it's a massive mismatch. On like one hand you see people sleeping on the floor, and then behind that wall they're setting up the freaking wedding that everything is just diamonds and I don't know,
That's
Rubens.
crazy.
So yeah, it was massive wedding, insane wedding. Like I learned actually so much. So I've been doing destination weddings for so many years, and then I come to wedding like this, and I feel like I don't know anything about weddings.
Yeah.
And there's a team of 6 people working together, all of us like on the
Did
comms.
you have,
And then
well,
there's like, I got the fancy comms, yep. And then there was like a bunch of other teams as well, so coordination between people. There was or three more photography teams hired for this, which was insane, because we were supposed to be the only one. And then the planners had
crazy.
their own team. They were supposed to shoot behind the scenes, but they were shooting the event as well. And then there was a team hired by the second families. Oh, this is like,
Whoa.
it was, everything was so different from what I'm used to. My little intimate weddings, my little 100-person weddings. This was like 600 to 800 people. Yeah,
Wow.
drones flying everywhere, FPV drones, regular drones. Madness. And then it was all over the news everywhere. I don't know if you've seen the news because you're in a wedding bubble, so you might have seen like J Lo presenting at the wedding. But like maybe because I've been there and I
Yeah.
clicked on one reel. Now my entire feed is talking about that wedding all the freaking
And
time.
you were there.
And I was there. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm actually impressed that you're allowed to say that you were involved in this wedding, because a lot of
Oh
like
yes.
billionaire weddings, it's like you can't say anything about your involvement with anything or that you even took a photo.
So like I don't show my photos of it because like
Yeah.
it's not my photos. It's Joseph Team's photos. All
No, but
credit goes
even
to him.
him,
He had
like
it.
sometimes the
It's
photographers
it's
aren't
in Vogue
credited.
India now. It's so this one was a show of wedding. So
Mm,
they clearly wanted to show
show
this
it
wedding to the
off.
world. So yeah, because I've shot another billionaire wedding this year as well, in summer, June. I'm not gonna talk about it at all because this was very private event.
Oh,
So yeah.
I feel like I know
So
which
I've
one you're
I've
talking about.
I've dipped my toes in billionaires' weddings.
Yes. Wow, that's
Uh,
such a niche. Was this the first year that you've kind of dipped your toe in that level of luxury wedding? Because that's a whole
um,
another world. like an entirely other world.
couple years ago, like I think a year before COVID, I also second shot for my friend wedding in Morocco from a couple from Oman. It was probably, if not billionaires, it was hundred millions of dollars, um, like people net worth
Yeah.
wedding. So it was mad. That was my first experience ever in like such a luxury. It's not my thing. It's not my
Yeah.
thing 100%.
I know. I'm kind of
It's not my
surprised that you've
people.
been involved
I
in so
cannot,
many.
like, you see how I look, you know.
Yeah.
I don't connect with people like this. It's through, like, in those cases it's just through the friends are either helping someone or shooting for some team, um just maybe because I know so many people and be like, hey, Magic's reliable, you know, which is a
Yeah.
big thing, you know, the trust in our industry. I think it's massive. And if someone can trust you with like shooting, be like, for example, primary shooting for a wedding like this, that says a lot, I think,
No,
which I'm
100%.
really proud, to be honest, to like, you know, to be that person.
Man, was there anything you learned from shooting a wedding that large with that like
So, yeah,
high level of
mm,
production?
uh, so many things. One of the main things that I took away from this was how much they shoot in the dark.
Hmm.
Many of these events started after it was dark, and me being used to, of course, I use Flash. I know Flash. I teach Flash, but I never shoot that much Flash in terms of
Yeah.
evenings, setting up lights, setting up stations for group shots. So that was actually impressive, and also like the use of a, you know, all the decor and spaces were so beautiful that it was just calling out for
Hmm.
those kind of setup lightings,
Yeah.
shots. So, you know, that team of ours had like entire gear for that. So that was just simply impressive to see how much attention they put on that part, knowing that, oh, it's going to be it's going to be dark. So, you know, the modifiers, they make sense. You have to bring your modifiers. And when like Joe was like, hey, what modifiers did you bring? I was like, you told me to shoot parties.
Yeah. You're like,
I
me and
have
my
my
one flash are
flashes.
fine.
And he's like, oh, you're fine, but the modifiers are the key for our what we do. And so that was one massive thing. The other one is probably like seeing how the team operates together, you know, on these
Hmm.
comps, how they delegate stuff, like yeah, so something that I've not experienced simply.
Hmm.
So experiencing something like that just put like all another layer to how you can do things, and how professional it was actually from that perspective, being like there's not a moment that is missed, you know. There's like, it's a 600 people wedding, so
Yeah.
how, like, where do you put your attention? And
Yeah.
that was, I think that was the hardest one for me, because for them, they knew the family, they knew the most important people. I came there first night and I'm like, who are these people? There's so many
Hmm.
beautiful people, and I'm used to shooting beautiful people. And then I found out, oh, these were like, this is a hired influencer just to show off this wedding. These are the beautiful dancers that also are just hired to be here and dance, and it's like, you don't need to take pictures of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, I took 100 photos of that
You're like, I just
person, for
wasted my
example.
time. Yeah, that would be crazy.
So
I,
yeah.
I think I would be overwhelmed. I think I would love to do it once. Maybe I would rather
Hmm.
carry someone's bags than shoot it.
Then shoot it. Yeah.
You know?
It.
I'd love to
Yeah.
see it, to be able to say, okay, I know what it's like to be involved
Hmm.
in a production of something like a billionaire's
Yeah.
wedding.
It felt like a TV production, to be honest,
Yeah.
more than a wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be intrigued. I would be intrigued to want to experience it, but I actually think experiencing it would be quite stressful for myself because
Hmm.
I think I would get overwhelmed with that many people. We had a wedding that pushed, it was like, you know, probably like mid luxury. It was not cheap, but it
Hmm.
wasn't like a billionaire's wedding. And we had a 3-person team. And in hindsight,
Nice.
I definitely should have maybe had 4, definitely probably had 4. But even with 3, I didn't see like groomsmen. I didn't see cocktail hour. I personally didn't see
Hmm.
details. Like I personally did not see like half of the wedding, which is
Yeah.
crazy because we had 3 of us there. And most people would be like, you didn't get to shoot like any of the details or like a groomsman photo. And I was like, it was physically not possible. You know what I mean? Like just the physical aspects, like it was not timeline wise possible for me to attend any of
Yeah.
those things basically. And I still think even with the third, we would have benefited a lot off having a fourth person. But the
Hmm.
logistics, it was indoor, so I really just didn't want to bring too many people in and for it to feel overwhelming with maybe like too many cameras, you know what I mean? But I mean, we pulled it
Yeah.
off. But yeah, hindsight like is definitely, I think in my opinion, when it pushes even over 200 into the three or fours of hundreds of people, I definitely think four people can be really useful in some
Yeah.
capacity.
So for me, so my typical wedding is I'm alone
Mm-hmm.
and not even a second shooter. So I'm just so much used to having everything in control and seeing everything that is important with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was vastly different experience. And then like even having second shooters when I shoot like a bigger weddings or like when I travel destination weddings, I often hire like a local second shooter just to have someone in the place already.
Mm-hmm.
I still typically will shoot 80% of the stuff
Yeah.
and rely maybe 10, 15, 20% on the stuff from second shooter, just the stuff that I'm, again, not just like you said, physically not if
Yeah.
possible to be in two places in once. Okay, you do this, but then like I'm so much used to this that being in that 6-person team felt like, oh, this is chill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have
Yeah.
to. Oh, groom's parents' reaction. Oh, she
Someone
got
else
that.
got it. Yeah.
Oh, this person. Oh, they got that. Oh, what do I do? Oh, you shoot in the back. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
yeah, so I feel like it was easier, but then like having a team like this. So for example, like if I would think like, oh, how can I maybe I can build a business like this. Maybe I can build
Mm.
a team like this. It just doesn't make sense for weddings that are so the weddings that I shoot. And then do I want to shoot weddings like this? Not really. It
Yeah.
was a cool experience, but I
Yeah.
prefer chill.
Yeah. No, I tried to push into the not that luxury of luxury, but I tried to push into the luxury industry a little bit
Hmm.
kind of pre like right before you met me probably slash maybe same
Hmm.
season. Maybe like 2-3 years ago because I was just like scaling and growing and I felt like I had met a ceiling and so I felt like the next step was to be a luxury photographer because those were like best photographers in the industry. A horrible thing that I got wrapped up in my head that those people were like better photographers because they're like shooting the like highest level of weddings. That was just what got ingrained. So if you're listening to this, it's not freaking true. But that was what got
Exactly.
ingrained in my brain. And then I don't know, I did all the networking. I think I went to like a different black tie, like I swear, like a different black tie event for like every month for like 6 months, man. Like I put my dues in and I don't know.
This.
I think by the end of that wedding season, I was just kind of like, you know what? Like, I don't really think this is me. Like, I'm kind of weird. I like strange couples. I'm not saying that if you're like that, you need to take cheap weddings because you need to be able to support
Hmm.
yourself and your family. But I was just like, man, I love the middle. Like, I love this middle ground. They have enough to pay me what I need to survive. They respect the
Exactly.
art. They're going to pay me well, but it's not like all about the details, and if there are details of course I'll shoot them, but like the
Yep.
type of person that it's attracting just like aligned so much more with who I am as a person.
100%.
And yeah, I think
Hmm.
I lowered my prices that year by like 2 grand and everyone was like, oh my gosh, were you like not booking? And I was like, no, I just felt like I was nixing out a whole type
Yep.
of person that I enjoyed working with. And I would rather be happy than make 2,000 more of that one wedding or even 5,000 more. And
Yep.
yeah, you know what I mean?
You need to be a certain type of person to do these.
You have to be into
Like
it. You need to love it.
you have to be into it. You have to love it. You have to be that person as well, so you can connect with
The
those
other people,
people.
yeah.
That you're photographing, because I feel like photography these days, like wedding photography specifically, it's people booking people
Mm-hmm.
more than people being attracted by work and booking. Oh, I want those photos.
Yeah.
I feel like these days the work just became so equally good
Yes.
that it's so much more about a person that is behind the camera and like the vibe, the whole the kind of atmosphere that you create as
Mhm.
a wedding photographer. So I actually recently, like that, what I was researching for a YouTube video that I've posted this Monday, actually, no, this last Friday. I'm sorry, how I booked my last 50 weddings, and I went over each wedding,
Mm.
and o- over two-third. Wait, let me just pull up the numbers so I'm not lying to you. I think it was 50 something percent was word of mouth, which just proves how I operate at weddings. I
Mhm.
just connect with people to the point that I get flown to shoot a wedding in Vietnam from a couple that I met in Spain,
Mm.
and or or New York or Puerto Rico or like all over the world. And you would think, oh, there's no photographers in New York. They have to bring
Yeah.
a guy from Poland. But yeah, it's just all about
People
that
love when they have a
connection.
personal connection with someone.
Yeah.
Even myself, I'm so much more likely to spend money somewhere if I feel like I connect with like that
Yeah.
business owner. That there's a new like winery tasting room in the town
Hmm.
that I can like walk to from where I live. And I walked in one day just to peek, and then it was just the owner, and he was like, "Oh, I just started like a month ago," and like just poured out his life to me basically. And I'm like, "Okay, now I want to spend money at your place so much more
Yeah.
because it's not just a building, it's not just a brand, like it's someone I feel like I want to
Hmm.
support and like want to spend my money with." And I think that
Yeah.
happens in the wedding industry too. If someone knows you, they're so much more likely to want to hire you if they feel like they had any sort of
Hmm.
like real connection with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So to give you the numbers, I had 36% word of mouth,
Mm.
20% wedding planners, and 70% networking with like other vendors,
Mm.
which gives total of 70% out of
Wow.
connecting with people. Then 20% social media, 5% SEO. I was never a SEO person.
I'm not an SEO person either. Everyone always wants me to talk about it, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I rank. I mean, we'll see. I need to rank in the educational space, but wedding photography, it's not my top worry in
It
any
was
way.
never my thing for years. Like I've known people who've booked entire seasons worth of work from Google. It was never my thing.
Yeah.
Um, and funny enough, like the numbers prove that social media was also not like 20% still like it's, but also 20% last 50 weddings is me not focusing on social media in terms of presenting my work as a wedding photographer because
Hmm.
I shifted towards the YouTube and education space. So my Instagram is more for photographers nowadays than for couples.
Yeah.
So 20%, like with what I called half-assing it, and that's still quite a lot bookings from
Yeah.
from it. So yeah, but still, like that personal connections, like the it's massive.
Well, and you have like a metaphor, and I feel like this could be an interesting segue. You have like a
Mm.
metaphor called like
Yeah,
entering the dragon or the
so
dragon's den or
this is my
something.
I call it a philosophy. I
Okay,
call it a
okay, let's
philosophy.
hear it.
So I've been teaching that for years now. It's like it's called Enter the Dragon. Is my philosophy of how I brand myself in order to connect with the people. And it
Mm.
all started with my redesign of website years ago when I was entering the space of shooting weddings abroad. So in Poland, we speak Polish language. So my
Mm.
website used to be my name and my surname dot pl, which is Polish.com, and then it was all in Polish. Then obviously I was not booking any other weddings than Polish weddings.
Yeah.
But then I started um, going to these conferences, workshops, meeting people, and be like, hey, I don't necessarily want or need to shoot locally. I could shoot different people, different places. So I was rebuilding my website, and at that time, all like every single template that there was for website, and then I think it was Squarespace that I started with,
Mm.
had like this cover page, and then there was like this first button that was like you enter portfolio or enter the website. Yeah. So it's like a big, hero image and then a button. And I figured like, oh, this is boring. Enter the website. So I just it popped to my mind like, oh, how about I just change it to Enter the Dragon? So it were like the first words that people would literally need to click on my website in order to go in, to get in, to see the content of the website, which I thought was genius because it would people who would not vibe with the dragon thing would simply not click. And I was fine with that. And then people who'd click would immediately vibe with the whole thing because the website was also quite funky. There was like a lot of references to pop culture, to stuff that I like, to Star Wars, to Back to the Future, to like my 90s stuff. And that was simply, I could see how much that is working through the inquiries that were coming.
Mm.
So imagine getting inquiring saying, let's say, oh, hey, what's your prices for this and that day? Or having inquiry this long, explaining why Back to the Future 2 is the best movie ever or something like that. So like people just relating with the stuff that I was putting out there immediately, and in the initial letter to me,
Mm.
I would be like 5 steps ahead of anyone else they've contacted because I already have a relationship with them. So that kind of like kickstarted the whole thing, and my thing of being experienced, working with me rather than just another photographer, just a photographer.
Mhm.
And then people, that's how I get these days, just referred to other people, be like, hey, my friend is getting married in Greece, you need to shoot his wedding, I'll let me connect you on text, and be like, oh, cool, I've never been to Greece before, I've never shot a wedding in Greece, I don't have a portfolio, I don't have a landing page, I don't have
Mhm.
SEO optimized page for a Greece wedding photographer, but hey, I'm shooting wedding in Greece next year. Same goes
Yeah.
with Hawaii, I'm shooting wedding in Hawaii, I've never been before, never shot it before, don't have anything on my website or anywhere else, but I got referred, be like, you need to shoot their wedding because you're our guy.
Yeah.
So it's this is just like a brief, like the introduction of the concept, but yeah, it was all about just being you. And I know it sounds cliche, show yourself, be yourself. But for me, I was taking it to extreme.
Mhm.
And I know, if my website, so I don't know if you've seen my website now, it's like green, it has like weird colors, and it has like, it's really weird.
Mm.
And I know, because I'm working with wedding planners and I know they offer me to many many couples, I know if my website would be elegant, nice design, in terms of not funky but more luxurious, let's say, I
Mhm.
would probably be able to book more this type of weddings.
Yeah.
But now let's go back to the beginning. Do I want that? Oh, we just talked about it. We don't want
Yeah.
that. We
Yeah.
just want those normal, regular people that we connect with. So it's all,
Yeah.
it's all about that decision. Like, it's a strategy as well, kind of,
Mhm.
and agree with the fact that this is what I'm shooting, this is what I'm doing. Funny enough, like through connection, as I still get to experience those luxurious weddings
Yeah.
from time to time, or shoot a beautiful wedding in Italy, Tuscany. Funny enough, like also these, for example, the weddings that come to me through wedding planners, even though they look like typical nice beautiful weddings, and they are nice and beautiful weddings, it turns out that couple is, I don't know, the guy is working as a designer for Blizzard,
Mhm.
the company that makes games, and that's why he connected with me.
Yeah.
So it's even, I don't care where the wedding is, what type of wedding this is. If the connection is there and I can connect with the person, that's just what I love doing. Because after
Mm.
12 years, I'm not stressed anymore about shooting weddings. The only thing I need to have is a camera, battery, and memory card, and I'm good to go. So the part that making this still fun for me and still wanting to do it is people.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that your brand is so you means also you're probably not going to attract people you're not going to enjoy working with. You know what I mean? There's a lot of photographers that I
Yep.
think have their horror stories and they have those clients that they just like did
Yeah.
not vibe with. And it's like, I genuinely think when there's people like you who are so personal in the brand, you genuinely are not going to attract people that wouldn't enjoy working with you, which, if anything,
Yeah.
is like such a up on everything. You know what I mean?
Yep. I don't think I've ever had like a Bridezilla or like a
I don't think I have either, really. I've had
experience
like
like that.
one
So I
interesting
never can relate
experience.
to these I
Yeah,
don't know reels or stories that happen.
I know. I hate to say it. This is my, I don't, gosh, I try to stay away from hot takes, but my hot take sometimes is like when you have like a lot of horror stories, I think you really need to look into like yourself. Like genuinely, what are you putting out online that is
Yeah,
attracting these people?
these
Because
people. Yeah.
I don't think I've only ever had one experience that didn't go super well, and it was when I had an associate team, and I realized that's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my type of business,
Yep. I
and
don't
I
have either
was
team
done
like
with
this.
it. But me personally, I have never had a bad client really
Yeah.
that I can think of. And some
Let's
people
go.
have
High
like
five.
10 bad
Cheers.
clients a year, man. It's crazy. And I'm like, I don't know. I think you need to dig into yourself
Wait,
a little bit, see what
what
you're
do you
putting
do?
out
What,
online.
yeah. What
Yeah.
do you do in a podcast? Because I don't know. Put once in a chat. There's no chat. How do you get people cheering on us now?
Guys,
Send us
yay.
DMs.
If you have bad clients, message one of us and maybe we can help you. Man, so funny. I definitely do
Yeah.
think it is what you put out there though. You attract what you put out there. I hate to say it. You know, it's just like if you want to book destination work, you post a lot about enjoying traveling, you know, like yeah, don't
Yeah.
attract the wrong people.
That's the simplest way to put it. I think like I don't like I. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's my opposite hot take.
Okay, tell me.
Is it called take then? I don't know.
I don't know.
So I've while I do stuff how I do, I'm fully aware that this is not going to work with everyone.
Oh,
You know,
that's yeah,
as we
no,
said,
I agree with
I'm
that.
extrovert, right?
Yeah.
I re- I have fun with people,
Mhm.
but I know many photographers who are not, who are like massive introverts, for example, and their business rely on being a local go-to photographer, for example, which, in my opinion, is a great business strategy. Be a
Mhm.
local go-to photographer. Be a
Especially
photographer
with
that
kids.
everyone locally comes to, and you should families, and you should siblings of that family, and then you should cousins, and then you should everyone in your little hometown, and then you do the volume work, and then you should
Mhm.
50, 60 weddings, but maybe shorter. But you don't have to put any effort in this, and this business is way more sustainable. But then you never say no to people. Then you
Mhm.
cannot filter really people, because what you're going to say, like, oh, I'm not like you, I'm
I
not
don't
going to
wanna do
shoot this.
your wedding. Yeah.
So it is like I guess like a business strategy, and then you end up shooting whatever comes, and you have to be just more I don't know how to say, like more like stronger in terms of like do not get
Mhm.
too much down on these situations. But I think like these are the people who runs businesses like this.
Mhm.
They're okay with just getting yelled at and be like, oh, fine.
I've heard crazy stories. I think one of my friends, like, got punched by a mother of the bride or something wild. I'm like, "That's freaking crazy, man. That's
That sounds
wild."
insane. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't
By the way,
know.
my chair is like
No, you're
squeaking.
good.
That's the word, which is so annoying when I make YouTube videos and I'm like on my chair. So wait, I bought this chair. It's not gifted,
Mm.
and I do not recommend. It's company called See Who.
Do not buy.
Do not buy. This is my
Oh.
due diligence to
I love how you
people
prefaced with, "I bought this myself."
because all these
Oh.
YouTubers, they have free desks and free chairs.
Yeah.
I don't. I only take free stuff from the companies that I actually use.
Yeah, as you should. I feel like it's hard. Like you want to accept free things, but yeah, if you don't like it, then you're stuck with some free thing you feel obligated to talk about,
Yeah.
and you don't even like. What's the
It's yeah.
point?
It's a tough part. Like the amount of emails. Even though my channel is a baby channel compared to all these massive
Mm.
YouTubers, like still the amount of email being like, "Hey, you want to test this light? Hey, you want to test this? Hey, you want to test that? We're sending this to you for free." I'm like, "No, please don't.
You're like,
Please
please don't.
don't,
Or if you
don't."
send it, as long as you don't expect a
Yeah,
video, I'll take it.
even I don't need a gimbal. I don't need stuff
You're
like
like, I'm
all these.
done.
So funny enough, like all these companies, because you're a YouTuber, they think, oh, it's all about video for this guy. He talks about cameras, so he's
Mm,
videographer. So he's like, we'll send you
yeah.
microphones, we'll send you this. I'm like,
You're like, I
I,
don't need that.
I I'm not a videographer. Like, audience is wedding photographers.
Yeah.
So I do try to filter this as much as I can. Sometimes there are paid gigs as well, like sponsored videos, so that makes sense. But also, that only makes sense if there's a spin that makes
Mhm.
sense in terms of showing this to wedding photographers, like something for editing, like editing consoles, or I don't know
Mm.
what else could be. Like probably a monitor would be a good brand
Mm.
deal.
Yeah.
Showcase a monitor for it. There's a bunch of products like this, but then there's like a whole lot of products that you don't really need to promote
Have you had
even
like a
for money.
favorite have you had like a favorite company or brand or thing
Mm,
that maybe that you've been sent, given, or promoted that like genuinely you were like, that was so much fun. I loved that thing, or I loved promoting that product. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Has there been anything specifically that it could
I'm
even be a
looking
company that
around.
you're just like, man, I really love working with these people.
Yeah, so the weirdest one that I got for free, or also it was fully sponsored. So there was a contract. I
Mm-hmm.
marked the video as sponsored and so on. Was a projector.
Mm.
So not very photography tool,
Yeah.
but I figures they offered me this uh, like a sponsored video, and I was like, okay, projector. I don't really want to do a video about like this projector has this many, I don't know, stuff, and
Yeah.
and so I figured like, hey, can I make a photo shoot with the projector and showcase
Yeah.
the projector in a photo shoot? And they agreed, and I loved it, and I've done like a couple more shoots with the projector
Yeah.
for myself as well, because it was just so much fun. And this projector is also awesome, and I'm using it to
Yeah.
watch videos in my living room. So yeah, that was like one of these kind of unexpected brand deals that I was very close to saying no to, because I was like, I don't see
Yeah.
any spin on that. But other than that, like not really. So I do work with my own sponsors,
Mm-hmm.
the main services that we both use, like PickTime. So they're the biggest one, but I've known them for years. I've known them before I started my YouTube channel,
Mm.
so it's like very easy and smooth working environment, because I
Yeah.
can promote something that I've been genuinely using for years prior to being influencer, let's say.
Yes. Yes.
um uh,
I love the
so
projector
that's, yeah,
idea.
but the
That's
projector
so
was
fun.
great. Yeah,
I've
yeah,
shot with a
and
projector before,
bunch
but
of
it was like
lenses, so
too cheap, and so it didn't work
it didn't
great.
work.
You
It has to be
need nice
really
ones.
dark.
You need a good projector,
You
like
need a
a
good one. It has to be really
high
bright.
lumen or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
that was in the spec sheet. High
Hey,
lumen, high
hey.
contrast.
I know my projectors
I
because
know I
I've
project.
done projector like where it's like, shooting through, you're like shooting through the couple and you have like the light
Hmm.
rays.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
man, I don't think I've done anything where you like projected over the couple, like an image or anything, but I've definitely
So I
shot
was
with
mixing
it
projection
through
with
with
the
like
flash.
fog. Ooh.
I was mixing projection with the flash, actually.
Oh, I'll need to see
So
that.
kind of projecting at, so my my go-to subject for my photos is my wife. So that's like that's my biggest challenge doing
Mm,
YouTube, is that every week I need to post a video. Ideally, every week I would have a styled shoot,
that's a
you
lot of
know,
work.
planned for me, and be like, Magic, 5 p.m. here, show up
Come
with
record
whatever
it.
you need to test. And I'm like, yes, that's my dream. So
Yeah.
I hopefully I'm gonna get there one day with the YouTube money.
Yeah.
But it's far away from that, I guess, at this point. So I have to test something. So I'm like, I just go to my wife and like, please, can I take
Yes.
more photos of you? And she's like, okay, fine, let's do it. So she's my go-to subject.
Mm.
So yeah, so that projection was like I was projecting through her, so the projection is on her as well, and then I was firing the flash from the side to kind of overpower the projection and make
Mm.
a like face or
Give her
something
part of her
visible.
face.
Yeah, so yeah, interesting subject, and then dragging the shutter and playing around with that creative part, super fun. I actually really like that.
That's so fun. I've literally only
You
ever
have to
used it
try
for
it.
like
Yeah.
extreme light rays, so I need to try this now. I think I've tried to project once for like a shoot for Jake, because similar scenario. I actually my Instagram following, most of it was from photos of myself,
Hmm.
because kind of like you, I was like, I want to do some
So
how
you were your
to's,
own
but
subject.
like
Yeah.
I don't really have like a couple all the time, so I'll just like make funky photos with like myself or my husband. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yeah, so very similar. And we had done some weird stuff, and I had tried to buy a projector and stuff, but
Yeah.
you really do need a nice one. So what a
Yeah.
cool deal. Now
Look
I'm
at
like
this.
wanting to go buy one. Oh
I
my
don't know if you
gosh,
see that.
so
So
cool.
this is
Wow.
actually shot with iPhone with flash as well. But
Wow.
that's kind of the idea that I was going for. So the
Is that your
projections on
photo?
that. Yeah, that's my photo. And then yeah,
For
so
everyone
playing
listening,
around
go
with
watch
my
the YouTube.
go watch the
Oh, that's
YouTube.
sick.
It's actually on
Wow.
you. So this one is like me testing iPhone and shooting that. But yeah, it's just playing with the
Wow. Your wife is
projection.
gorgeous.
And thank you, she is. And yeah,
Yeah, that's
fun
sick.
stuff
I need to try
for
that.
sure.
I had one
Yeah,
that
you do.
took
I would
off
love to
with me
see
using
you
like the
doing this.
kid, like do you remember
Yes,
the fiber
yeah,
optic
yeah, that's
things?
viral. Isn't your viral thing?
Yeah, yeah. It's
This is
just
this is how we all know you. I don't
this
know.
is no, I do think a decent amount. Yeah, I think my following grew by like 30,000 people overnight, which is crazy.
That's not bad.
From
That's
that
more than
one
my following
video.
on Instagram.
It was just the one. I mean, there's like a
I'm
couple like pillar
29.7. Please, I need
videos.
300 people
Hey
from your
guys, go
listeners
follow him right
to
now.
follow me. So I'm
Uh,
30K.
Man, honestly, I feel like this could be. I mean, we could yap for hours, but man, is there anything you wanted to hit that we didn't talk about that you would enjoy talking about? Because I'm like, if not, you can totally start plugging yourself. We'll have everything in the show notes and descriptions. So you guys better go find him and get him those 300 last followers. But was there anything? I mean, you're the master of so many things. So I know that you could chat about a lot of things. But
Mhm.
man, was there anything you wanted to say before we start wrapping up?
So I think like the interesting thing that it ties with everything that I do
Let's do it.
is the Sony ambassador thing,
Oh, yes, yes.
because a lot of people ask me about this. A lot of people wonder how it is to be brand ambassador. Is it worth to
Yeah.
be a brand ambassador? I don't know if your audience is like gear headed like my
I mean, I
audience.
don't know, but
My audience is massively into
I mean,
gear,
I
but
would love to
obviously,
know about your experience of being a Sony
because
ambassador.
I grew up my audience by reviewing gear, so that's kind of obvious on YouTube specifically. But an interesting part that many people don't realize is like I became a Sony ambassador, which I'm not, by the way, anymore. So this is not plugging Sony. This is just to tell the story because I think the
Yeah.
story is interesting. Um, is I became ambassador before I started YouTube. So
Wow.
I didn't have a presence. Many people think, oh, you're ambassador because you're a YouTuber, and like Sony's like putting their money on YouTubers.
Mhm.
So that was like not at all the case. I became ambassador through the events that I've been hosting locally.
Mm.
So because I was doing this community work, because I was working with people, because I was
Yeah.
organizing events, and having people coming and growing a community around myself locally, I've been seen by companies be like,
Mhm.
oh, like this person is interesting because it
Yeah.
has a lot of connections. So that connector thing again, like strikes here. And when I was shooting Canon, I was a Canon.
No, you
So
were
I was
not.
I was actually shooting everything. So I started with Canon, then I had a Nikon, but I was still shooting Canon. I had like extra Nikon, so I was like Canon here, Nikon here. Then I had a Fuji, so I was like everything because again, I love
You're just like
cameras,
gear. Yeah.
gear, fun stuff. I had a Sony before as well, and then out of the blue, I get this email from Sony being like, "Hey, we know that you're
Mm.
organizing stuff and so on, and we've seen you, and do you want to test our cameras?" And that was before they launched their A7 III, which was the first big camera that everyone switched to. So there was like it was before the good days of Sony. So at this point,
Mm.
I'm getting this email and be like, Sony, they Sony, it's a niche brand. Like who
Yeah.
cares about Sony?
That's so
Um,
funny.
um, and I was like, cool, yeah, let me test this camera. And the camera that they asked me to test was A9, the first version, which was like a really, really good camera, like the first one that really
Hmm.
could work for weddings. and I was so amazed with the technology. And I'm a technology person. I love technology. I
Mm-hmm.
love using this stuff to my advantage. You know, even though I grew up with film, I grew up with having a film around me, film photography. I learned everything in photography with digital cameras,
Mm-hmm.
and then I always wanted faster, I always wanted quicker cameras, I always wanted better cameras. So I
Yeah.
was like looking for, this is my jam, I just love that stuff.
Yes.
um so that camera was like, actually was like totally amazing for me. So I borrowed it, I went to like a couple weddings, I've shot one massive wedding in Vietnam with these cameras, and then I came back and they're like, okay, do you want to be brand ambassador? Like just like that, after using cameras for just a couple months.
Mm.
And believe me or not, because like people are surprised by this, I was considering, I was like, should I?
You're like, I
With
don't know.
Sony, really? Sony? Again, this was times with Sony. Like, it was not that everyone shoots Sony and everyone wants Sony,
Mm.
at least even not on YouTube and like nowhere. Everyone was shooting Canon and Nikon, and I was like, Sony, really? And I just agreed because I love technology. And then a couple months later, it all started, like the whole. Uh, Shebang with these cameras being amazing, and people switching from those DSLRs to mirrorless. That whole mirrorless
Mm-hmm.
transition happened, and I was like right in the middle of it,
Yeah.
which kind of also solidified my position here locally, because that was still before my YouTube. And then a couple years later, when I started a YouTube channel, I started through the opportunity of being able to test cameras and lenses before they were released,
Mm.
which is a big thing. But then at a certain point, I realized it's not fair towards my audience, and it's not, people, how can I review stuff, or how can I compare stuff and be like, if I am brand ambassador?
Yeah.
So that, like, I made this hard decision this year to stop it, to be like, okay, I need to focus, I want to focus more on educating people on wedding photography in general, or
Yeah.
talking gear in general, than being connected with a brand that I still shoot and I still love these cameras. But at least now I can shoot other cameras. Now no one will tell me, "Oh, you're biased because you're paid by Sony," when I'm
Mm-hmm.
comparing cameras. So that's kind of my journey with the brand ambassadorship, and I think it would be great if not the channel, if not the education part, if not the whole new side of my business. If I would just still shooting weddings, it would be amazing to still be Sony ambassador shooting weddings, because
Yeah.
that was great. But that was just not fair towards my audience. So that's kind of the decision that I made.
I think that's so
Uh,
respectful. Like, I feel like I faced that within
mm-hmm,
kind of the AI space of like
mm-hmm,
exclusivity with different companies. And
mm-hmm.
there's new things coming out within the spaces that I want to be able to talk about. And that really affected who I would potentially work with, because I didn't want to endorse something that would stop me from teaching my people tools that I think are really valuable and really special for the industry that are coming
Yes.
out, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Evoto, I freaking think their tool is freaking so killer for AI
Yeah.
retouching, and I'm just like, that's so freaking sick. And
Yes.
some people aren't going to be able to talk about them because of different deals that they have with different companies. And I was like, I'm not taking a deal with a company if I have to nix talking about that on the retouching side, because there's no one competitive to it. I need to be able to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, because in my community, I need to be able to be honest. And so it's been super cool to find like my people and the right people, because I feel like I have experienced what you've experienced, but kind of in just different areas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I just
I've
want to be able to
experienced
tell
that
my
one on a
people,
software
like,
level too. Yeah.
yeah, I just want to be able to tell my people honestly what I use and why I love it. And that's what I want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? As wedding photographers, we can go book a wedding. Like, the cash isn't going to sway my opinion that heavily. So, yeah, I love that you did that. I think that's so bold, so rare in the industry, and so humble to kind of leave for that purpose. Like, I think that's so cool. And even what you said when you first, towards the beginning of the podcast, when you said that what worked for me might not work for someone else. I also think there's not a ton of people that think about things in that way. And I think that's such a beautiful way to think about everything. Because I think some people speak from a perspective of this is what worked for me, therefore it is the only thing that'll work for you. And
Yeah,
everyone's living different lives in different countries with different family statuses and different goals for
everything.
their
Yeah.
life. What you do, if you have some SEO course, like you're going to say it's perfect because you want to make money, not because it might be the perfect solution for some other person or like some Pinterest
hmm
thing or some whatever. So I've loved our combo. And I think like that's really cool that you're taking a step back purely for
Yeah,
the
but
sake
that's
of your audience. Like that's
yeah, but
awesome.
that's also, it's as you said with these AI companies, it's just such a hard space to navigate. I think especially on YouTube when there's like so much brand deal
Yeah.
opportunities, like being clear about what's sponsored, what's not sponsored, what's been gifted, what's not been gifted. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't talk about this too often, but there's so much gifted stuff, and if you get something for free, you clearly benefit in some way or another. So
Yeah.
that's a hard space, and after like understanding how it works, it's so hard to me to watch reviews of the stuff that I want to buy. I
Because
want to
you're like,
buy a
is this
vacuum,
honest?
and I'm like,
Yeah.
hmm.
You're like, were
He
they
said
paid to talk about
he
this
said he got
vacuum?
it. Was it gifted?
Uh,
He doesn't specify. Oh, is it
yeah.
so? Okay. Which it just put the big question mark on the
On
entire
everything.
review industry, because it's just such a play, like open place to interpretation. Like the
Yeah.
laws are clear, but the way people are not talking about it, and how do you find that? Are you gonna freaking hunt for those small creators that got like a free $15 thing, and then like, okay, where's the line? I got a lens for free.
Yeah.
It's a $50 lens. It's a really cool
Yes.
lens, and I really think it's cool and it's fun. I got it for free. What, should I not talk about it because I got it for
Yeah.
free, or because now people are gonna think, oh, you got it for free, that's why you say it's awesome? And I was like, dude, it's
Yeah.
a $50 lens. So yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely
100%.
a hard space. Ideal situation is we get supported by audience financially
Yes.
to the
Yes.
point that there's zero brand deals.
Yes.
As simple
And
as
you
that.
only do
And you
them
buy
because you
and you
actually
buy
really love
everything.
the thing or something.
Yes, or you don't even do them at all, and
Yeah.
you just pay
Yeah.
for everything that you use.
Yeah.
Like that's a dream situation. So that's
Yeah.
second dream of mine. First was the style shoots every week,
Yes.
and second was enough money coming from the supporters, so I can just I'd be like, oh, there's a new lens you want to
I'm just going to
review,
buy
let me
it.
buy that.
Yeah.
Which I cannot afford now,
I feel like
but
an
yeah.
honest review in the YouTube space, even if you were like, if you wanted something and you reached out asking for it and they gave it to you, I feel like that's different than them giving it to you and you feeling obligated to share about it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that is still a very honest review. If you were like, hey, I really want this, I'm going to reach out to them. They offer to send it to you for free. That's the same thing as you basically buying it. You just didn't spend the money on it. I
hmm
don't think that'll taint your review just because it was free if you were the one that wanted it in the first place. You know what I mean?
Up to debate, I would say, because still, for example, I it's a such I don't know, because imagine, okay, another take. Let's say you bought something with your own money. What, you bought a new camera. You like
You're
this
going to be
camera
more
because you
critical,
spent,
maybe.
so no, you're going to be even less critical because you want to
Oh,
defend your
yeah.
purchase.
Hmm. So maybe it's better that you were gifted it then.
So
Maybe it's
there's so
more
it's
honest.
such a hard decisions and how to make it. So I think like just being yourself again, like that
Yeah.
personal
Go back to
connection,
the
and like
dragon,
people, yeah, going back to the dragon, to people trusting you because of who you
who you
are.
are.
That kind of builds that, and then builds the community of trust. Or what I personally like doing, I just take photos and be like, hey, these are the photos from the lens. You tell
Yeah.
me if you like it or not.
Yeah.
And this is what I use, this is what I not use. I recently got lens sent for like a sample, and I watched a bunch of videos on a launch. It was a third party lens, and all these videos I watched were like, this is the best lens ever. This is the killer of the G Master, which is the top
Mm,
Sony lens. So this is a killer. So this is like a L lens for use Canon.
mm,
Yeah, so it's like a L lens equivalent. So
yeah.
this is L lens killer. Like all these videos that I've seen, I was like, this lens is amazing. I got it, and it was shit. It was not even
Oh my
comparable.
gosh.
It was not sharp. I was looking at images one next to another, and I'm like,
Yeah, when you're
did I
gifted
did I get a
something,
different lens? Is that
as a
is
YouTuber, when you're gifted something, are
Mhm.
you allowed to release a bad review?
Oh, yeah, like,
Like,
of
say you were
course,
like, yeah,
yeah,
this sucked. Like, would you be allowed
yeah.
to
I
post a
did that.
YouTube video of like everyone's saying this thing's the best thing ever, and here's why I think it's really not that good?
So, yeah, if you get something for free sent, being like, oh, we're sending this for a review, and you have to send it back, for
But it
example.
could
So this
tarnish a
you get
relationship if you
you get
did.
you get review unit. This is a
Yeah.
PR action from the company, right? They're sending out for review. So for example, Sony stuff that I've been reviewing, I've never got anything from Sony for free, even though I
Mm,
was brand ambassador. I was getting stuff for the time of review. I get to review it and I send it back.
mm.
And that was managed by the PR side of my local Sony here. And clearly they cared about the output. So if someone would say something really bad about it, they might not get another chance
Anything ever
to
again.
send. So this is a part of that as well.
Yeah.
But then, I personally always say what I think. With Sony, it worked out because luckily their stuff is not bad.
Mm.
So they have not released a bad lens in a couple years actually. So this was very easy mode, but it was definitely harder with this third party. It's like, oh, I got this lens, and it's like they sent it to me, and it's really bad, and I said it's bad, and I'm okay if they not send me another one, because I don't need more lenses for
Yeah.
myself. I like reviewing stuff, so maybe I loan stuff that I review. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's something that, like, I've not been long enough yet to maybe, like, I changed my opinion on that throughout the years, and because I want to get more into educating. The problem is YouTube is not that full of wedding photographers.
Mhm.
So like the alone education doesn't fly as much as educating with gear and about
Mm.
gear, because people all the time care about gear. So if you want to have less views, you can try to educate people on weddings on YouTube. If you want to have
Uh,
more views, just
talk
compare
about the
lenses.
gear.
Just
Yeah,
compare lenses.
that's
That's
interesting.
that's my teaching. That's my teaching
Yeah.
for any of you who wants to start YouTube.
I mean, YouTube's a wild. I don't think, I mean, as much, I mean, I do a podcast and we post on YouTube, but like editing down a video, like I just, I cannot. I would not. I could never, I don't think I could be a YouTuber. I've always wanted to. And because I like doing things that I like, I think I would enjoy filming things,
Hmm.
but I just don't think the back end. I just don't. And I know some people might hire an editor or something, maybe, but
Yeah,
I don't want to do that if I'm not making money. And YouTube,
yeah,
at least
yeah.
in the beginning, you're not making anything. And then even when you have something, you're still barely probably making that much. I do know YouTube is like the most lucrative creator space if you can grow. But
Definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It does open opportunities for sure, and the brand deals can be really lucrative. And then you can sell education through YouTube as well, which
yeah,
can work if you're really good at selling. I'm learning. I'm constantly learning about how to sell myself through that. But
I'm
yeah, for
sold.
sure. Thank you. But for sure, it can be. It's a work. It's definitely much more work than weddings, than shooting weddings.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. I'm working more now when I'm releasing a video every week than I've been working shooting weddings
every
every
week
week.
is crazy. I can't imagine. Literally can't do it. But man, Magic, why don't you tell everyone, like, to wrap us up, where they can find you on all these things, like the
Sure.
YouTube, Instagram, guys. You got to go knock him over those
Yes,
300 people.
please, please,
But
300
the
people.
Instagram, the YouTube, tell us about the education too, because you've hinted and said that you have education. You've also said a good bit about your YouTube, but I want to know like what you're selling and what's going
Hmm.
on and what kind of things you've made. Even I'm curious.
Sure. So so you find me by typing magic wedding photographer. 3 words
Genius.
everywhere. So Instagram, it's Magic Wedding Photographer. YouTube is Magic Wedding Photographer. Website is magicweddingphotographer.com. My education is education.magicweddingphotographer.com. Really long, but simple
Hey,
words, at least.
simple.
Like a very like I recently watched this podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson, like the guy, the
Mm,
scientist guy. I don't know if you know him. And he said that he loves that in the space, um, like the space and engineering and stuff, like everything is named very simple. So something
mm,
between stars, interstellar. uh
mm.
like a dot on Saturn, it's literally called like dot on Jupiter is called like big dot on Jupiter or something. So everything is just like
Yeah.
simple words, and that's what I went with also. So it's Magic Wedding Photographer. It's a stupid explanation of the whole thing.
No, I
So
think we overcomplicate our words in the
oh,
wedding industry
we
so much. They're like, "Oh, let me just have like love notes from my blog instead." And I'm like, "No one's going to know that's a blog." Like no
yeah.
one and their mother, literally no one's going to know it's a blog. And
Or
it
what is
looks
it?
cute,
Yeah.
but what is it? Why do we need to
What is it?
overcomplicate things? I just don't think we need to make it so complicated.
Yeah.
If that's your blog name right now, I'm so sorry. I'm not meaning that in a bad way.
It is
But I
not.
think there's just no reason. We don't need to
Yeah.
make things complicated, you know?
Yeah, but I agree. I tell that to people as well with the brand names. Like if you go with something too generic, or if you ask ChatGPT to figure out the brand name for you,
Mhm.
that might sound like thousands of other generic
People.
people out there. But yeah, so that's where you find me. And then, on YouTube, I show up every week. It's mostly combination of gear, talking
Mm.
about weddings. So my recent videos are like, how did I book my last 50 weddings, how I deliver my galleries, how I shoot flash. I do challenges, which are like, I think like the probably like the videos that I would invite you all, like I would like every wedding photographer to see, is a playlist of my 5-minute challenge videos,
Mm.
because these are videos where me and other photographers, uh, big name photographers, challenge ourselves with this shooting the same couple in the same
Mm.
location for 5 minutes.
Wait, that
So
sounds
time
so fun.
restricted, location restricted, and we don't get to see what other person is doing. So we go
Wow.
to this into the space and be like, okay, what do I
What do I
do?
do?
And it's such an interesting experience because you do see vastly different approaches of posing couple, of
Yeah.
leading the shoot, vastly different approaches to like the light, scenery, and so on, and then vastly different results, which is insane. So
I'm so
like
intrigued.
that's probably one of the most educational ones in terms of shooting. Like because for example, I don't know how about you, Summer, but I find it really hard to show people how I shoot,
Mm.
because it's just such a process in my head happening at the time when I'm shooting. So
Yeah.
when I'm teaching people shooting, I'm be like, okay, guys, stand here, watch me for 5 minutes, let me shoot just like I would shoot, and then I will come back to you and I will reverse engineer what I just did, because I just go with my flow.
Mhm.
And so that's why these 5-minute challenges are great, because you just get to see the person doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of, if you want to watch something on my channel, that's the first thing that I invite you to watch. And then yeah, I do have course. I do have my flash course on like mastering a single flash at weddings. I love single flash shooting because I travel all the time. I never do a
Yeah.
bunch of flashes. I never bring bunch of flashes. I never bring a lot of modifiers. So one simple modifier, one flash, that's it. And then yeah, I do also coaching. Like I just
Mm.
launched my it's a kind of magic mentorship program, and I'm kind of leaning towards switching from doing courses that people don't watch
Mm.
to having that personal experience, so group coaching and personal
Yeah,
coaching,
yeah.
because I love people, and
Mhm.
that being able to work with people and transform their business and
Mhm.
seeing the transformation actually
Yeah.
just gives so much more than selling a course and
Fulfillment,
seeing
yeah.
pitching on your Stripe and be like, oh cool,
Yeah.
and then never see result. So While courses are great, and like not all people are made for coaching. I started doing this recently, and I absolutely love it. And yeah, I call it "It's a Kind of Magic" mentorship program. And
You
then
have
I
such a
do
good
retreat.
name for all of this.
Once a year, I do a retreat called "It's a Kind of Magic Retreat."
So cute.
so
Oh, that's
so yeah,
perfect.
that's what you do when you want to find me and learn from me.
Amazing. And I'll be dropping that in the show notes and in the description. And you guys, if you're listening to this and you're listening to it on the day it dropped, I'm letting you know if you're not inside summer school, me and Magic are about to go film a little exclusive version of this podcast right after this and drop some, nodes of wisdom. And I actually think it would be really fun to kind of ask him about some of the gear he's reviewed recently and some of his favorite things. So if you want to hear more from Magic, go ahead and join us over there. But also, if you're wondering what I'm even talking about by summer school, because you're listening to a podcast literally called that, it's our exclusive membership. It has classes from educators worldwide. It has a huge community. Just from Black Friday alone, we've grown, I think, like 70 more members all across the world. We had someone join from like Australia, New Zealand, Trinidad. It's been crazy. So if you want to join us, it's a freaking rad community. And if you're listening today, you can still join for like $1 for your first month or only $300 for your entire year, which is crazy. Mentorships these days are like $1,000 with photographers, and you can learn so much more than that for literally $300. And you get direct access to me. You can message me, other members. It's such a fun freaking time. So, like you were saying, Magic, I basically
Also,
created like
summer
a
school.
community.
It's such a good name.
Thank
It's
you.
just like
I
it's a
know we
kind
both
of
have good
magic.
names for this. I kind
Yeah,
of
let's
like was
go.
gonna say it. I was kind of like we both like were given great birth names to run businesses. I'm literally wearing summer school merch right now, team. So
Oh
join
man, I don't have
us.
my merch.
Yes, you gotta wear it
Wait,
next
I have
time.
magnets. I have magnets for the fridge.
So cute.
Did you get white? Did I
I
give you
didn't
one
get
summer?
one. You're gonna need to give me one.
Okay, I'm
You're gonna have
giving
to
one
mail
to
me
you.
a Christmas card. Doop. Anyways, yeah, if you're still here and you're still listening, I want you to share this with a friend you think would enjoy it. Put it on your stories or leave us a review. That would mean the absolute world to me and would help me get more amazing guests like Magic on. So yeah, join us in summer school and I will catch you guys next week. Thanks so much, Magic.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.